If you watched like one of my recent videos, you would see that I did like a room tour. And in that room tour, I was reminded how many sketchbooks I have around my room. So we're gonna go through all those sketchbooks, I guess, and hopefully see some improvement, hopefully. So in about 4th grade is when I truly got started into art, because we had an art like section of our class, actually, first art class. And in that art class we did robots, and so the first majority of this really like beat up spiral notebook. Wow. So the first few are just these wonderful robots. They're all like labeled somewhere, I think. I believe these were colored in with markers from the after-school campus or after-school program at my school. It just goes on. This, I'm gonna zoom on this one. This one has SpongeBob poorly drawn, but it has his pineapple house. This is Patrick Star. Ready? I heard a couple jokes about Patrick Star and decided to depict them. This one is, why was Patrick holding a burger bun and a rock to his head? Because he was listening to rock and roll. This one was, why couldn't the egg give Patrick any money? Because it was broke. That's what I think. I don't remember these. We're continuing the robots. This is a treasure. I was in the quote-unquote popular group in elementary school. This is elementary school. Keep that in your brain. Yeah. So these were the classic teenager needs: a phone, a camera, a computer, a pixely bow. Here's a mermaid from, I think, later on, because I only draw on one side and apparently decided, hey, I'll draw on the other side. Probably because this was so crappy. Next is a continuation of this pixely bow, but make it square. Guess what? More robots. This is the music robot teaching. This is lovingly done by one of my friends, or friend, use past tense. The Invisible Man. He's going on a date. Ninjas taking over the city. It's a bunch of ninjas on this cityscape. He has a very nice little cannon. He's shooting cannons at the flag. No, it did not dawn on me that this is not how flags work, but as you can see, there's already cannon falling. I'm going through the flag. Then just taking over the city. I was reminded of Coraline and all of its creepy endeavors. Along with, we had a Black Widow in our garage. So I drew this skull being taken over by this Black Widow spider that is saying "we" as it goes down on its screen. Along with this one, who is assumedly crawling out of the eyeball. And they're two little babies. Additionally, I remember that there was a doll. Coraline, a doll. Along with the cat that I randomly remembered. To be fair, I have never finished the movie because as a child it creeped me out. I've yet to finish it. Okay, now I know where we are. We're definitely in 5th grade. This is a flower and a butterfly. This is gonna be a long video, I'm deeply sorry. Hotel Transylvania, that lady who keeps swallowing things. I didn't do that. And a failed attempt at Mavis that I scribbled out because it was horrifying. More horrifying things. Goofy, Mickey, and Minnie. Drawn from what I can remember, because I was at school. A cat. A larger flower. Playing with my eraser. So this is about 6th through like 7th grade, I believe. This is a pixie on a flower, a rainbow flower. Dolphins swimming in the moonlight. Yes. This weird obsession I had with these swirly lines and then flowers. We're going to take a momentary switch to this sketchbook, which sadly only has 2 pieces. This one, in which I drew melting crayons, and a continuation of the weird swirls with flowers, except with roses. Along with a cover for an album that I will never produce. Miles of Love, with a couple riding off into the sunset in a convertible. That is all in this very thick sketchbook with wonderfully pressed fabric flower. We now must go to this tiger sketchbook that is about the size of my hand. And we must now look at the horrible things I've done to humans. Now that we have seen the obsessive names, obsessive animals. Everyone is a different animal, and they're all connected. A wonderful quote by Ernie Cooper in Casey Undercover. Any idea is a good idea because it may lead to a new idea. He then was potentially going to be left alone to fend for himself. This next sketchbook is different ideas of backdrops that we could do for the dance company that I dance at. I was commissioned to think of ones for the Land of Sweets for the Nutcracker. So we're going to see those. A giant pie. Ice cream cone mountains. These are all cotton candy clouds. They're officially changed to just being like clouds but pink. This fountain of, I believe, sprinkles with a strawberry shortcake on top and gumdrops. This was another tree, but these had marshmallow leaves and fancy chocolate truffles as little hills. This one is in color. More candy cane trees. The ice cream scoops. This monstrosity of a cake that had a macaroon layer and fancy dripping icing. There's more cone mountains and now cupcake things. Trees. Just generic trees. Cake again because I couldn't decide. This is a finalized colored version of the fountain. Here are my notes. I also did art for the Aladdin bits we did, along with we did Tarzan. But those aren't as fun. This green folder possesses the papers from this sketchbook because it is one of those tearaway sketchbooks that the paper sadly blows away. It is full of sketches that I will only show you a few of because this would be horrendously long if I showed you all of them. This one, where she has rainbow hair, I was getting obsessed with Guy Tang and his paranormal activity. He did a lot of people with rainbow hair. This fun one where I cut up different pieces of a human and colored them with different colored pencils. This one was just sketches of different types of hair. This bottle with a purple version of that green drink that makes you fart from BFG. A beloved section of art with people with no faces because I was horrible at it. This wonderful human who's in a nice sundress standing in the ocean because I didn't want to draw feet with her hands behind her back because I did not want to draw hands. And this astronaut who has both feet and hands, but they were in such chunky clothes I did not feel horrible about them. Along with him looking at the earth with the sun rising up. And finally, from the sketchbook, a horrible creature I created by mixing a flamingo, a griffin, and a giraffe. These are my initial sketches of each animal, so I did not forget. This is what I created. He has the lion body, but giraffe print, and an eagle head, like the griffin, but a flamingo beak, along with flamingo wings, but the griffin ending and wingspan. And a tail that I believe was supposed to be like a giraffe, but also works for a lion. That's all. Finally, we're going to finish 8th grade. And you guessed it, the red sketchbook. He's been with me for many years. A willow tree. I'm not mad at this one. It's not my best work, but I'm not mad. Angel with wings in a language I do not speak, above. Who knows? More words. So I had a boyfriend in 7/8th grade, and he was obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, I attract nerds. And so, as he would yammer on about all that during lunch, I would sit in his general vicinity and draw stuff like this. This, I believe, is supposed to be a dwarf. But dwarfs are strong fighters, apparently. Did that one. I also did this elf dude. Better than my first attempt at a dude, but not my best. Along with this regal human dude. This sailor girl costume, or schoolgirl costume, I don't know. An artistic view of myself with way too long of hair. It goes down to here. An unfinished drawing that will stay unfinished. An assignment I had to create a character. I was to draw a character from the book I was reading. And here are all my notes going through the book, looking at all the descriptions of the man. And here's the man I created. Again, improving. But again, not the best. A really close-up picture of someone with a flower in their hair. Another attempt at mixing animals. This is a cat, snake, and ostrich. He should be put out of his misery. The Obsession of Lost Boy by Ruth B. exemplified. Along with an obsession of eyeballs. And yin and yang character. Unfinished, horrible sketches. This is the last piece I ever drew in it, and it is unfinished and will stay unfinished. We are now going into the big boy. This is 30 sheets. It is not full, and I will not go showing you the horrible things that I've done, but I will show you the first experience with real art tools. She's winking. Her eyes are not that lopsided. They are lopsided, but she's winking so you can see her wonderful eyeshadow. And she's fully blended. This is wonderful first attempt at drawing a family friend. It was taken from a selfie that was highly angled because it was a group of us. An unfinished sketch of someone. Please ignore the stains. They're not there on purpose. This alien man that I started and will not finish. A start in using those random blobby human body references that you see online on Pinterest. A start of someone playing the guitar. Two different eyes, one with stars and the moon. We've reached more recent stuff within the last year or so, I would say. But again, not every piece is a winner. This is a study of a hand. A failed drawing of the Aurora Borealis. I will show you a success painting of said Aurora Borealis. This was done during quarantine, in which we were supposed to make an abstract piece. I did this. Not horrible. An improvement on the details of the eye, the ear instead of just drawing a little hook, the mouth fully formed along with the nose. The success painting of Aurora Borealis within someone's hair. A cute little sketch of a ginger-haired child with a blue flower crown. An attempt to only draw in blue. Bird Box? I don't know. Movie/TV series was getting popular, so I drew what I remember of it. What I knew of it. This one. An attempt in a different style that started with the mouth and then just continued. Again, not mad. Little sketches of ballet stuff. A sheep to go with my Chinese class because I was learning Chinese. Mushu with wings because my friend is very good at recreating art, and we drew Mushu with wings so I could color him eventually because I felt it was wrong that he did not have wings. An eyeball with a literal cityscape in it. A beginning sketch that will not be finished, mostly because the subject is my ex-boyfriend. A doll that is replaced but has human skin on top. Drawn in that 1950s hourglass skirt body type thing. A wonderful comic. This is the treasure, literally. A wonderful comic drawing food because I had sprained my ankle and could not participate in PE, so I just sketched this gopher getting his food. This one's good. A study of a dancer's human body. I couldn't figure out originally what was wrong with it, and then I discovered by turning it upside down, I could see what was wrong. This looks like someone is flipping you off from far away. A dream catcher with different quotes and symbols and such in between. We will not go over them, mostly because I do not remember all of them. A galaxy. Someone licking a lollipop. This was me practicing on how to draw noses, which translated into a mouth with a disproportionate tongue. This is a piece that needs explanation, but I will do it. This is a gas mask with poppies playing on it. As I previously mentioned, poppies have a very strong significance to me. During this time, I was struggling with anxiety, and my anxiety at this time was sparked by sensory overload through smells. So thus, the gas mask. The poppies are to remind me that just to stay calm. That's what it is. A continuation of that same series, of which this is in a car because I get sick in cars. But one of those things is because I throw up, it makes me panic. And so it's more of within the car, it gets stuffy, and which makes me panic. So it is why there's a bag. A wonderful doodle page. As you can see, I really hop around in my themes. This is doodle page / reverse vines. This is, stop, I could have dropped my sapien. It is a croissant. Holding a little human on a plate, because humans are professionally named Homo sapiens. Along with this goose gesturing out to a bunch of humans, stick people, going, look at all of those monkeys, because we are most similar to monkeys. And the goose has a name tag that says, my name is Chicken. Continuation. Another one of my triggers is the ticking of a clock, because I will focus on that, and then because I'm focusing on that, I'm not focusing on the things I should be focusing on, and that makes me anxious. So this is a bunch of clocks, which if you look at my other one, I have a painting of this because I finally decided to paint it because I had a bunch of canvases. And so this is one of my more favorite ones. This was, I believe, freshman year? Oh. A seal. He has a little crown and a cape. We saw him at the beach. By we, I mean me and my friend. A revitalization of the licking section. This was freshman year. I know that. Along with this one, because it was the repump of We Need to Save the Ocean. And I say repump because it happens every 2 years, and then people forget about it, and then it gets repumped. And she has little jellyfish earrings because I like jellyfish. Ah. This painting, this drawing, this is a drawing of a bisexual who's been abused or beaten down because she is bi. This was during June, Pride Month. And I did this because I had newly discovered that I was potentially bi. Again, unfinished sketch. I don't know where I was going with this. This was the prompt Vines. This was not finished or posted for Inktober. This is an increased sketch of an eyeball. This one I tried to go in absolute detail. Also, I was tired but couldn't go to sleep. Different pieces that I did for a project week during quarantine in sophomore year, because the prompt was, imagine you had synthesia, which, if you don't know what that is, it is a brain, I think, condition in which some sounds are associated with colors. I do not have synthesia, and so they are terrifying. They're very weird, not terrifying. They're very weird and don't quite make sense. This is my personal sketchbook starting, I believe, my sophomore year. Before, like, the whole quarantine thing. This is, gonna cover up the random gibberish, a drawing of two people kissing. Not great. Someone blowing a bubble with gum. Mysterious figure. This was meant to sort of represent my weird, I think, cousin once removed. I don't know, it's weird. Because he would consistently wear a hood and was this dark, shadowy figure at Thanksgiving. This one's good. This one's good, I promise. This was New Year's 2019 to 2020. And it's this girl halved with a clock. But this was a stark improvement of humans, because it's an actual human, because we had recently, right before break, done a segment on taking humans and just flopping it over. This way I had a reference human, because as you saw, all previous humans were terrifying, and it's slightly wrong. Oh, this was for another project that we did, where we had to draw pictures representing what we were talking about. This is a horse. I'm sorry for all equestrians and horse lovers that are seeing this. I've done it wrong. Along with, the glitch effect on various foods and drinks. Finalizing in this human. I quite like this one. This one turned out better than the painting. This is the piece that stemmed from the Synthesia other pieces, but I just took the song and I took that literally instead of trying to emulate Synthesia. And I have this piece. The song was called Butterfly Effect by Before You Exit. We were supposed to make a piece based off of an artist we study, and I chose Rene Magritte. And so this is the piece that I made. It is like a little wilderness piece in his face with hands making a heart over it, one of which is his. The second to last piece that we were instructed to make was to make a superhero, design a superhero, and how they would help with the coronavirus, because by this time we were in quarantine. And this is what I created. A whole little comic strip of his powers and origin, along with his enemy, a cop turned bad when his partner shot his own kid, because they are both black, and this was also when Black Lives Matter was sparking up. And once again, a repump, because it keeps happening and people still aren't solving it. And that was the last of the sketchbook. This one obviously is not done. But after that, it was summer. And I was focusing on all of the paintings that are currently on that wall. Sadly, there is going to have to be a second video, because this is going to be way too long, in which I show the ones from this year, which is mainly focused on the AP art class that I'm currently taking. We've gotten to Spooky Town. I was reminded of Coraline and all its creepy endeavors. Creepy? Of a bisexual. I've been talking too long.